Chat, hello and welcome. It is me, Rasputin. Currently, you are listening to a song that I made 12 years ago. I made this in high school. And yes, I was in high school 12 years ago. Yes, I'm old. Yes, I'm ancient. Hey, Fluff Knight, how you doing? I was doing some digging last night of old stuff I made. And I found this song I made. I used a guitar. I had all these little different tiny pianos, like kid pianos that you get kids. And also a drum machine. I actually... Give me a second. Let me tweet this shit out real quick. So we can get some help. So yeah, in high school, I bought a drum machine. Because I was really into kind of electronic music. And yeah, I don't know. It was fun shit. So I made like a band, but it was just me. So it wasn't really a band, just a musical project. And yeah, I don't know. I made 2 albums. I don't know where all the songs are. I only have a couple of the songs. But I'm trying to find the rest. Because one of the songs I made, maybe I'll have it be some sort of sub goal or some sort of something. I don't know. One of the songs I made was a electronic cover of Grudo Valley. that I rapped over as like a meme. And I don't know. I'm mixed. I don't. On one hand, I don't want any of you to hear it. On one hand, I don't want any of you to hear it. On the other hand, I'm a sucker for content. You know me. I'm a sucker for content. But here, let's listen to some other songs I made when I was in high school. That first one was called I Am. I actually used it in a I was in a creative writing class my senior year of high school. Hand it over. Now that we know we have to hear it. Yeah, well, it's called Building Suspense and Hype. Anyway, I was in a creative writing class in high school. And I made like a short film for my final project. And I, wrote it. I scored the music for it with that song. And yeah, filmed the whole thing. It was pretty good. Catch as much of the stream before it. Yeah, thank you. I saw some subs earlier. Dadlax, thank you for the prime. Yorez had a critique of Hollow Knight, I told you, and I kept playing, and I now revoke the critique. It's a masterpiece. I mean, there are very valid critiques of Hollow Knight. I forgot. What was your issue with it, Jimmy? Falfine, thank you for the gift. This song's called Bowen. It's a little quiet, but here it comes. You'll find that with all my music, I kind of use the same chord progression. Here's me on the vocals. Auto-tuned, pitched up. Let's go, baby. Overwhelming, yeah. We did burn stuff and did parody mashups of actual films. I did that stuff too. It was a good time. I also made music. But yeah, I made an album. I made an album in high school that I sold. I came to school with 100 burned CDs and sold my album $3 a pop. Made $300. Sold every single one. Or I think I sold most of them. I think I kept a few for myself. Bought a PS3. Bought a PS3. Don't know how I didn't get in trouble for selling my fucking CD at school. Ooh. I was so lost playing Hollow. Yeah, I mean it takes a while. You need to get over a gap. Brockhampton vibes. Brockhampton ripped me off. I was doing this shit 12 years ago. JSLB because it's only you. Because you're the only one in here. Didn't you know? My school, the older kids just sold cigarettes to turn a profit. Not a great... Yeah, sounds rough. I did sell out. I sold out bad. The geo system is a bit weird because mid-game you'll have too much and end-game you'll have not enough, which sounds weird. Interesting. That was not my experience. But this one's called Ages. This one's less good, I think. But here we go. We're vibing. We're listening to through the 4 songs that I have. This is put your hand up in the air kind of song. But yeah, this is my past, chat. This is what I did before YouTube. So how should I incentivize showing you that song? It's actually kind of a bop, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, this. It's interesting because there's some people I haven't talked to for a long time from high school. And I'm like, yeah, I'm, doing creative work now. And they're like, oh, you're making music? I'm like, no. I'm actually, no, not making music. Kind of similar though. I'm talking about video games, online. What's up with this part? This was a weird choice, Raz. I gotta bust out my drum kit. Maybe one day we can do a full listen of my old music. I think everyone should submit songs to the subreddit, and you should make a compilation with a Raz rap at the end. Interesting. When's the new hotness coming out? Never. I had a third album planned. Okay. So I made 2 albums, and I had a third album planned, which, like, the first album was just random stuff. I mean, all of it was just random stuff. All of it was just random stuff. But I was going to do a third album. I was working on a third album. Ooh. Here comes the solo. Can't stop with the second album. Third needs an Omnicorn solo. Look at him go. But then he fades out right when it starts getting good and fast. Yeah, I was working on a third album. So, like, the first album was songs kind of all sort of inspired by Zelda stuff. Not like actual Zelda songs, but the names of the songs were from Zelda. And my third album was going to be like a electronic music in different like worldly styles, which, looking back at that idea as someone not all that familiar with those musical styles, a little problematic. Maybe a good thing that I didn't go with, very stereotypical sounds. But I mean, that was the problem. I didn't want to just be like, have my music sound stereotypical to certain places of the world. So I was trying to learn a lot about various scales that were associated with different kinds of music from different regions and actually like do it right. And then it turned out to be way more work. So I just stopped. And I got busier with other stuff. Here's the final song we'll listen to. This one's called Waker. So the first was called I Am, then Bowen, then Ages, and then this is Waker. Kind of starts halfway to note, don't know what that's about. Kind of peaking at the top there. Ooh, this is poorly mixed, Raz. Thoughts on Ezio? Ezio's pretty good. We will talk about that as time goes on. Okay, it starts a little weird with it. We love a hard bass drum. But yeah, I don't know. Music was fun to make in high school. I was like, I'm pretty, like legitimately, I'm pretty good at alto saxophone. I can read music. So I'm not like completely unmusically talented. Did nothing come up when you said, fuck. Give me a sec. Why didn't that command work? Unmusically talented. I'm also an English major. Was I in a band at some point? Yeah, I talked about it a bit last stream. This song actually kind of slaps. Why did nothing come up with enter? Do I need to... I was all about layering shit all the time. That was the MO. But yeah, no, I was in a band for a bit in high school. We only wrote one song. We only wrote one song and it was not great. I mean, I did a few things that you could call considered a band, but I think there was only one time where I was in a band. I played electric guitar and I sang. I was the lead singer. I mean, it was like me and another guy were the co-lead singers. But for the one song we had, I did the lead singing. And it wasn't very good. I talked about it last stream a bit. I very much tried to like emulate the Jet kind of singing, if you're familiar with Jet. And you know, it was a choice. Give me a second. I'm trying to get some shit to work. Are you gonna be my rat? Yeah, pretty much exactly that. What was the band name? Huh. What was that band name? Alright, is Cloudbot in here now? Okay, Streamlabs is in here. Sweet. Try doing enter now. Alright, those are the 4 songs that I have. I'll try to scrounge up my full, like, stupid album I made in high school and then the one I made my first year of college. And then maybe we can create some sort of deal where I give you a sneak peek. I give you a sneak peek of other stuff I made. What do you think? Macy, thank you for the sub. But yeah, here's the history of my bands. We had a talent show every year, and I would always make bands for that. There was one time where like we had an actual band where we would like practice and we were trying to write songs and get shows, but we never really did. We wrote one song, creative differences, you know, all that good stuff. I in middle school had a band. In middle school I had a band that we played for our talent show there. We played Pinball Wizard by The Who. Ever since I was a young boy, I played the silver ball. All right, we're not doing this yet. We're not doing this yet. Chill the fuck out. From Soho down to Brighton, I must have played them all. And that band's name was Sweaty Crotch. We named that band Sweaty Crotch. That one was Sweaty Crotch. Yeah, admittedly, I did have a name for that one, and it was, in fact, Sweaty Crotch. I was yeah. It was interesting. That was a weird experience too. We played it. I loved The Who. I wanted to do it. And I don't fully remember exactly what happened, but one of my friends who was also playing guitar and singing, probably because I was being a little mean, because he and I at the time, friends now, but at the time I think we butt heads a bit, just because different maturity levels, as in I was less mature. And we were very competitive with each other, so we'd fight a bunch. You know how that goes. Like your friend that like you're friends with, you like them a lot, but you just, when you're around them, you're just competitive in an annoying way. So you get in dumb fights that don't matter. But anyway, that was the case. So he dropped out of the band because he didn't want to play. I think part of it at the time wasn't like the strongest singer and felt underappreciated, which is fair because none of us wanted to sing. I didn't want to sing. So we got a different friend who also wasn't the best singer, but he was pretty popular. Everyone liked him. We played the song. He got carried out. He got carried out of the auditorium. Like people lifted him up, cheered him, which made me pissed. Because I was like, I think it made everyone else pissed because everyone did a better job from what I remember. But no one cared about all of us working our ass off. Like, I don't even know how much he practiced. Great guy, love him. Genius, a doctor. Talented in many ways. The lead singer of Sweaty Crotch, I don't know. But all of us were a little like, okay. My friend Brian played bass. Brian, who was in Once Upon a Roll, if you've listened to that first episode. And he killed it. Dude, John Entwistle creates a sick bass line. Just a wildly difficult bass line. Brian should have been carried out. He played John Entwistle's bass line to near perfection. And I think that was the last time he ever played bass, you know? But anyway, so that band was Sweaty Crotch. Then yeah, we had I mentioned it before, a band that's music seemed like it was written by two teenagers who had recently watched Fight Club. Let's see. It was like, everybody take a stand now. Come on and take my hand now. I forget the next line. That's very Jet though. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, but then like it would switch in the middle part of the song was brainwashed in your living room. You never knew what it could do. I think then it was like growing up on the TV screen. something. I don't know. It was bad. Anyway, that's my musical history. I'll take some time to find my old musical projects and maybe share them as a history of Rasputin. I actually like a handful of my songs from my 2 albums. I actually think that the rap I was talking about is actually kind of fire. I've shown it to a few people. All right, chat. You wanna hear a 10-second teaser? You want to hear a 10-second teaser? Just so you can see the greatness of what you're in for. Just give me a second. Give me a second. The whole thing? No. Look, I've got to hold this over you all. This is valuable. If I just waste it, what's the point? Okay. Here we go. You ready? You ready, chat? You ready? I don't fucking think you're ready, if I'm being honest with you. I don't think you're ready for this. All right.
$1998.
That's all you get, chat. That's all you get. That's all you get. That's all you get. It is what it is. That's it. That's the teaser. That's the teaser. We'll you know, we'll move forward with it. You aren't ready, chat. 1998 fools. Mac, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. As long as you promise not to leak. I need to find like the official MP3 of it though. Chat, yeah, I'll let you listen to it at some point. Yeah, it's over the Gerudo Valley song. I'll let you listen to it at some point. But I gotta tease it out as long as possible. It's called Building Hype. It's called Building Hype. All right, let me get a few things going. I like this chill. It's a little not the mood, unfortunately. Let's go to this. Zelda and chill is almost always the mood. I'll make you a secret music video. That would be dope. All right. So chat, today, the plan. Complicated. Today our plan is to work on the tier list, the competition, the bracket for April's bracket, which is the best video game character ever. That's our bracket today. That's what we're working on. I'm enlisting your help. Chat, I need you. I need your help. We gotta decide characters. And what I'm gonna do is see who you all like. Similar to last time, I will be using Nightbot to choose which of you gets to suggest a character. So pretty much, let me turn the music down. It seems loud. Pretty much, we will do an entry. Let me get my window capture thing going. We will do an entry. Excuse me. I will choose a person, and you, person. I feel like my text box is way too big. There we go. Cool. And then you, the people, will type in a character's name. You will type in a character's name, okay? And give me reasons as to why you should pick that character, or why that character should be considered one of the best of all time. And then I'll talk about it, and I'll have everyone here vote on if we think they're a contender or not. If they are considered a contender, then cool, dope, awesome. They'll move on. And if they're not, they won't be, unless I decide that they actually should be, because we have a limited voting size. There's only 70 people, you know. We'll fucking figure it out. So, how we'll start is I'm going to give you all 3 minutes right now. All right? 1 second. I'm going to give you all 3 minutes right now. Okay? to write out in a Word document which character you want to do, and maybe a few words as to why they should be picked. And then that way, if your name gets picked, boom, easy. Just immediately, you post it. Rad. Okay? Don't post things. Don't post just names randomly. It's going to happen when new people come in, I know. But don't. Because if you do it multiple times, I'll time you out. And also just ignore you. So chat, I'm going to give you 3 minutes. If you'd like to enter, you can type in "We Are the Bag." Type in "We Are the Bag." And you'll be entered. Is it from one? It can just be a character. We're just talking about characters. Still work if I did it several minutes ago. Sometimes if you type in chat, you will be unentered. So looking at this right now, it does not seem like you are in here, Witchstalker. I thought it was "wear the bag." I'm an English major, so I don't spell things wrong. Cap, 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 cap. Anyway, all right. Do I even need my chat box here? I feel like I don't. We have chat. Chat is just... Do we need multiple chat boxes? I guess it won't always be up here. Just a third chat box? Fair. Why isn't it doing it? I'm trying to do a meme. Here we go. 3 or 4 could be good. All right. This is good. Because we got the 4 now. Okay. All right, we got a good amount of entrants. I'm going to roll it. Bingo Bongus, who's your character? Which character do you want us to talk about first? A very privileged position you have. Arthur Morgan, because he has a compelling personality, also because he has a fantastic arc over the story of RDR2. Yeah, I can talk on this a bit because I've played Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, I think first off, chat, how many of you have played Red Dead Redemption 2? I have a lot of you. I'd be curious for those who have what you think of our boy Arthur. Because from my experience with Red Dead Redemption 2 is Arthur is like the most rewarding protagonist I've ever played as. He's very understated. Very understated in how he acts, but he still has a strong personality. Very strong personality. And it's all through these little subtleties, whether it be like breaths or just small actions or how he responds to people. And it's all very good. And like it wears on you. Like you kind of become Arthur as the game goes on. And in some ways he becomes you. And I've never felt that kind of connection with the protagonist before. Better than John? I'd agree, which is incredible because after playing Red Dead Redemption 1 and hearing 2 was coming out, I was like, there's no way. There's no way I like Arthur more than John. Because John's a great protagonist. I don't know if he'll be on this list because I feel like it's weird to have both John and Arthur. And I also feel like John would lose to Arthur by most people's books. But I think that is important to talk about. How like, it seemed like there was no shot that Arthur would live up to John. But for most people, Arthur has well surpassed John. Best trait are his journal entries. His journal entries are really interesting. Yeah, because you get a kind of deeper side to him and how he thinks about stuff. There is no limit. There is no limit. I will just say, I'm just saying, like, I think if you ask 90% of people who have played both RDR2 and RDR1, they would say they prefer Arthur over John. That is based on nothing other than anecdotal evidence. But yeah, I think Arthur is a great choice. I was actually I was considering just having Arthur be on the list, but I want to give people a chance to vote because I don't want to put someone on there who's off base. I think Arthur has a great arc as the story goes on. His character shifts, adapts, changes in a way that makes sense. You have a strong emotional bond to him, and his presence in the game is very important to what makes Red Dead Redemption 2 special. And the level of detail they give his character is just incredible as well. Just surprisingly nuanced, and the amount of stuff that they had the actor record is just staggering. But certainly I think Arthur is a solid choice as a contender. So let's vote. Let's just get our first vote out of the way here. Pretty much you will see on your screen, it'll ask if contender. That's all it'll say. Contender. And you will put 1 for yes or 2 for no. We'll see how many votes come in. In the past, I've had it be like you need a 60%. But for now, we'll just do 50%. Because I think this is going to be a little different than the music thing. And also just because there's less people here. But yeah, here are the votes. You'll have 1 minute to vote on whether or not Arthur Morgan should be a contender. So, is Arthur Morgan a contender? Here you go. Make your... Oh, is it not showing up on screen? All right, 1 for yes, 2 for no. Give me a second. There you go. All right. Better be no twos. 30 seconds remaining. It is looking like Arthur is only getting 2 votes out of spite from Jack. And I guess Tommy Beans. 2. Wait. Poppy. You can't say wait for my vote. You just put your vote. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, your vote didn't matter at all, as it turns out. Arthur Morgan will be a contender for the tournament. Not all that surprising. Not all that surprising. I think that's a great pick. I think Arthur is a no-brainer pick for a lot of us. Great character, great arc. Great start to this. Arthur is great. Then why'd you vote 2, bro? Poppy, why'd you vote? I see. You're those kinds of people. Because spite. All right, chat. If you would like to be re-entered, type in "We are the bag." We are the bag. We are the bag. Bigger number, better person. We are the. That's not how. No, that's not how it works. Stop. Sweaty crotch, by the way, not balls. That's ball. Wait, you said is just foul. It's just foul. Mine was artistry. All right, let's roll it. Harry Boys me. Harry Boys. Harry, what's your pick? What's your pick? Who's your character? God damn it. How do we already have someone who has entered and left? Am I that fucking boring? God damn it. I try so hard to be entertaining. And this is what I get. This is what I get. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. All right. Roll it. Nosferatu. What do you got for me? What do you have? Boom, 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 ba-da-dum, dun. Are you fucking kidding me? What are the conditions for a character to be in this? A lot of my favorite characters are from RPGs where they have a lot of player choice involved. I mean, that's something we can talk about. I think that's just something we can talk about. Change it on the first one? No. I'm not going to change it on the first one. Then I'm changing it every word, and that sounds terrible. I'm just going to roll it again. I told everyone to type it beforehand. Green Falcon, what do you got? And he could always, just because he's typing, he could always just type. They know we're waiting. So you just type 1 second, or you type, here's my character. Give me a second to type up the reasoning. Green Falcon, are you fucking kidding me? There we go. Joel, because of his and Ellie's relationship. Joel, I think, is another... Sorry for yelling at you, Green Falcon. That was unwarranted. You didn't even take that long. It was only 26 seconds. Only 26 seconds. You're fine. You're fine. That was rude. Joel seems like a very good option for this as well. He's definitely one that I think would be someone I try to push forward. Pros for Joel, like, he is instantly relatable because of his relationships. You automatically know exactly who Joel is after the very first 20 minutes of the game. Pop Peep, you haven't played The Last of Us? I don't care about The Last of Us spoilers at this point. I'll be honest with you. Then no, you don't get to care. You don't get to care. I don't think okay. Here's my new ruling. Here is my new ruling. I don't like when people are mad about spoilers for other people. And I've done it. Okay? And I'm not saying don't just disregard that other people might be spoiled. But we don't need to have no spoilers for The Last of Us, a game made 8 years ago, for someone who theoretically doesn't know what happens. Last of Us 2, I think, that's fair game. Like, that's fair, still spoiler territory. The Last of Us 1, though. I don't know. I'll try to be cautious, but come on. All right, you immediately know Joel, what he's like at the beginning because of his relationship with Sarah. Sarah very tragically in the first 20 minutes of the game. I don't think this is a spoiler. Everyone knows, and it's 20 minutes in, dies. You play as her, and then you play as Joel, and then you watch her die. And it creates an instamatic bond. That's not a word. An instantaneous bond between the player and Joel in a way that few games have. That quickly and that effectively. And then from there, while you might not agree with Joel all the time, you understand Joel. And I think this goes throughout the game, even though like a lot of times you're like, Joel, just open up. Just open up. Be a dad. Be a good dad to Ellie, you understand why he isn't. You understand why he doesn't for a while. And then eventually we see how him deciding to be a good dad, protective dad, father figure to Ellie leads him to do some very brutal stuff. And I don't want to have the argument right now, at least, of whether it was justified or, were the Fireflies actually just idiots? We don't need to have all these like game theory talks of like, well, it wouldn't have mattered anyway, even if they had done the surgery. That doesn't matter, because that's not the point, right? That's not the point of Joel's choice or where he goes or how he becomes as a character. What matters is because he wasn't working out. He wasn't sitting there working out like, well, what's the efficacy of this vaccine actually going to be? That wasn't part of his reasoning. His reasoning was emotional, 100% emotional. I love this girl. She is my new daughter. I want to protect her. I will do anything to do that. That is his reasoning. And I think the game does a great job of connecting you to that reasoning, where most people, as they're playing, aren't going to be questioning what they're doing. They're going to be taking out Fireflies, trying to save Ellie, because it feels like the right thing to do, whether or not it is. And I think the whole argument of whether or not it is a good one. But what matters is that in that moment, you're like, Joel, let's do this. And I think that's what makes him such an effective and great protagonist. A great performance by Troy Baker, for certain. And yeah, I think he's a great video game character. So let's put it to a vote. Let's put it to a vote. I get the sense I know how this one's gonna go. Anything to add, chat, that I haven't? Yeah, there can be multiple characters from the same franchise. All right, chat. Is Joel a contender? You have 1 minute to vote. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Seen so many people defending Joel, and that shows you how well written he is when he did an unforgivable act. Yeah, no, I think that's a big thing. It's like he did something that's super questionable, super uncomfortable. And sure, you can, 15 seconds left, you can reason out like, oh, it makes sense because the world's so messed up and they actually couldn't, like people make those reasonings and try to justify it in that way. But that's not why Joel did it. I think that's the thing to remember. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Joel is a contender. Yeah, makes sense. Great choice. Great choice. I think Joel's a great choice for a character. Joel Miller. Yeah, just go with whoever you think deserves it. All right, Chad, if you would like to be re-entered, you may type in "We Are the Bag." I feel like it's good that we're kind of getting, I think, the big ones out of the way. And you can do whoever you want. You know, it doesn't have to be all the big ones. But yeah, I was thinking of just putting them on here, but I also I wanted to be like justified. I wanted to see other people be like, yeah, Arthur Morgan should be on here. Yeah. I should turn Yeehaw mode off for this. God damn it. Fuck. All right. Here's the issue. Why isn't it? There we go. Where'd it go? All right. Here we go. This is as good as it's gonna get. All right, chat. Let's choose our next character. Frankly, you should have done this on Arthur goddamn Morgan. But look, sometimes you miss your time. You miss your time. Let's roll it. Devin Sarah? What do we got? What do you got for me? King Cobra, we are choosing video game characters. I'm rolling people and they're suggesting characters who should go on the best video game characters of all time list. Devin, who do you got for me? It does not have to be a playable character. It is just video game characters. It can be anyone. Playable characters are probably going to dominate the list. Dutch Vanderland. Thank you. Thank you for hitting someone in the same vein. Dutch Vanderland of the Vanderland gang has a goddamn plan. Just gotta have a little faith, Arthur. All right? You just gotta have a little faith. Dutch is, I think, one of the classic villains. And, you know, frankly, maybe I got to do a villain list specifically just for villains. But I said character. We said character. We can do specifics later on. Dutch is a great villain in both Red Dead games. Obviously, Red Dead 2 a little less villain-like and more just tense ally who you have some issues with as time goes on. A great performance by actor I don't know the name of, who just kills it. And RDR2, you see him slowly going from charismatic leader to paranoid lunatic. And then Red Dead Redemption 1, as you go on to that, technically the sequel to Red Dead Redemption 2, still a weird choice, Rockstar. Still a weird choice. You see, he's kind of hit his full reclusive, I'm living in the wilderness. I'm Dutch. Still getting people to follow me, but in a different way now. So, chat, let's get this vote on. Dutch, clearly one of the great villains of gaming. One of the nuanced villains. All right, can we get that? And also a nuanced friend. Is Dutch a contender for the best game character of all time? Only you can be the judge, chat. 1 for yes. 2 for no. Shit. The vote's going to be secret, chat. The vote is going to be secret, but the vote is up. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Is Dutch Vanderland of the Vanderland gang a contender for best character of all time? 30 seconds remaining. 15 seconds remaining. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Unfortunately, no. Dutch is not going to be a contender for this one. Loser. A great character. And Vanderland, is that it? Maybe will make more sense in a villain only or antagonist only. I think I'm actually going to do it to 2/3. I think 2/3 always is going to make the most sense. Or maybe let's say 60%, not even 2/3, just because we don't have a massive pool of viewers. Let's just say 60%. I want it to be a strong majority, you know? Pop Heap. Why is this the second time I'm seeing you post about how you made a header in Google Sheets? Do you need a pat on the back? Congrats. Congrats. Hey. Congrats. Congrats. I'm so fucking proud of you. Just there are moments where chatters just do things that are just so far beyond what you ever expected of them. And seeing you, oh God, seeing you make a header in Google Sheets, just, this is what pride looks like. Evan, thank you for the gifted sub. All right, chat, we are the bag if you would like to submit. If you would like to submit your next one. All right, let's roll it. Tommy Beans. Who do you got for me? Bum bum ba da da bum 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 boom. Just so you know, chat, the people that get voted on aren't guaranteed to be in the final 16. This is just to get a nice little pool of community accepted applicants. So, you know, for some of you who might be voting no on someone because they're, you know, in the same franchise as someone else, don't let that be your thing. You know, I'll keep in mind the amount of votes that people are getting. Greenlight, are you telling me to shut up? All right, Tommy Beans, you've lost. Greenlight, are you telling me to shut up? Amogus? They can say Amogus. All right, Tommy Beans, you fucking lost, bro. Anyway, just what I'm saying is, like, you know, don't let someone else being on the list already make it so you don't vote for a new character. Vote for who you think is good. And, you know, I'll make sure that the right people get on. Lucancio. Who do you got for me? What characters do we already have? That is a good question. We have Arthur Morgan, Joel Miller, and a loser, Dutch Vanderland. That is who we have so far. Excuse me. All right, I don't know how much the mobile delay is, but I'll give you like 10 seconds. Insulting Dutch like that. Yeah. Well, maybe he deserves it. Did he really even have a plan? Did he even really have a plan? Sometimes you do. Let's see. Because sometimes it just undoes you for whatever reason, but you look good still. All right, reroll. King Cobra, I know you're in chat. I know you're here. Who do you got for me? See, the thing is, it sometimes pulls you out. And sometimes it doesn't. Wait, do I yes, you got picked. So you can tell me which character and maybe a few reasons as to why you think that character would be a good choice. Dutch says he has a plan. He has a goddamn plan. Tahiti. Akechi from Persona 5 Royale. Akechi's a great choice. Akechi is really a good choice. Who is Akechi? Who is Akechi Persona 5? Okay, yeah, Akechi. Goro Akechi, our favorite. I mean, look at the mask, you know. We love Akechi. We love Akechi. You know, his personality, he appears to be, how well-mannered, friendly, and charismatic he is. Kind of, being that high school detective coupled with handsome features, that he makes him really popular among the general public, and it's commented to be the second coming of the second coming of the detective prince, his intelligence and smooth. Yeah, I don't know anything about Goro Akechi. I haven't played Persona 5 Royale. Tell me about him. He's made character development from vanilla to Royale. Okay. What, the only thing stopping me from getting Persona 5 Royale right now is that I don't have 100. It's okay. What is his persona called? Oh yeah, his persona. Of course. Did I close it? I mean, did I? Fuck. Well, you got to be more specific of like, which persona you're talking about, if we're being honest, because actually, I don't know if you knew this, maybe you're kind of new to it, but, some classic figures like Robin Hood, Loki, and, in Persona 5 Royale, Hereward. I'm bad at reading, Yeah, I don't know anything about this character, so I'm terrible at telling you about it. If you've played, Squidward. If you've played it, maybe you can be a good judge. All right. Brad's actually my favorite game. It's gonna be over for me. Yeah, I wish I knew much about this character. Unfortunately, I don't. So 5725. Fuck yeah. How much of a PB is that? Are these your tunes? No, this is Zelda and Chill. I wish I was this good. 2-minute PB. Fuck yeah. I was going to ask, I didn't know if you were sub-hour before. You should stream Persona? No shot. Joseph Anderson's literally live right now. Just go watch him. Okay, I don't know anything about this character. For those of you who do have played Persona 5, hopefully it's a good character arc and makes sense. So yeah, should Akechi be a contender? I might have to play Persona 5 so I can do this fucking list. Should Akechi be a contender? 1 for yes, 2 for no. You have 1 minute to vote. He's good, the best. No, yeah. I wonder, are there any characters from Persona that you would say are like the best? And if you say Joker or whatever, I'll give you a swirly. Poppy. Swirly time, buddy. Joker doesn't talk. 20 seconds. Which I think that'll be interesting once we get around to some big characters. All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 07. Tokachi. A certifiable loser. But thank you. It gave me an opportunity for one of the better bits of the stream. See you, Zoibe. Zoibe? Did I say Zoibe? Zoy sauce? Zoibe? All right. If you would like to be re-entered, type in "We Are the Bag." Ketchy is a badass, but not the best character. Yeah. I feel bad. That this obviously is a issue with the format. Is if I've played The Last of Us a billion times. I played Red Dead Redemption 2 just a couple months ago. I played the first 5 hours of Persona, which apparently isn't enough. All right, let's roll it. Tipsy Phoenix, who do you have for me? If you need a refresher, here are the characters who have been submitted so far. We only have 4. 2 have made it. 2 have been lost to time. It's Portal's time. Okay. Don't say Chell. Don't say Chell. Don't say Chell. GLaDOS. Yes. GLaDOS, a classic character. Certainly, I think a shoo-in when I do the villains list, the best villains of all time. And I think definitely on the edge of being a contender here. Portal 1, just a funny evil robot who tries to murder you and then gets pretty wild near the end. And then Portal 2, like a fully realized character with an interesting arc of power, right? Of going from being like the full power of this facility to being a potato. Spoilers, I suppose, but it's Portal 2. Came out 2011, 10 years ago. I don't care. I just don't care. So an interesting, like her having to readjust her life based on the power she's had and how that changes her relationship with the player and Chell. And on top of that, also an interesting backstory of how she became GLaDOS and the personality that was grafted onto her. So some interesting exploration there in the game of like identity and purpose and, what she is and where she is and how she is. Because I'm a potato. A great performance by Ellen McLean. Is that her name? Ow. Who also has some banger songs. Yeah, it's interesting and sad, and I think creates this nice moment as time goes on and you get to the end. A great antagonist. Certainly one of the best villains of all times. Like, I think a shoo-in for that list. And frankly, probably a shoo-in for this list. Stephen Merchant is great too. Wheatley is a great character too. I don't know if Wheatley is nearly as good as GLaDOS. So here's the thing. Like, Portal 2 has, I think, 3 of the greatest characters, video game characters of all time. We should do one of these for Avatar: The Last Airbender. What would the idea be? Like episodes or characters or what? Kazuko or Iroh would win. Every character in Portal 2 would be quoted for the rest of it. Yeah. It's wild. GLaDOS, Cave Johnson, and Wheatley. I think Wheatley is a great character. I think the worst of the three. I think the worst of the three, but still good. A good performance of. Granted, I also haven't played it in a while. A few of my friends said some of the jokes that Stephen Merchant goes with don't land as well in current year. But it's been too long since I've last played, so I don't know firsthand. But yeah, I think GLaDOS seems like a solid contender. But listen, this isn't my list. This isn't just my list. It's your list too. It's your list. No arc, but great friendliness. Yeah. It's funny and a great performance. Should GLaDOS be a contender? One for yes, two for no. Make your voice heard. How many contenders are there going to be? At the end, it's going to be a tournament of 16. It's going to be 16 characters. Because that takes like 4 to 5 hours to do, so I'm not going to do 32 because that'd be way too fucking long. So it'll be 16. It's good for the format of stream. Yeah, this seems like a no-brainer for us, huh? I figured it would go this direction. But, 20 seconds left. Yeah, if you've been chosen, you can enter again. That's fine. All right, we don't need to wait the full time. No shot that it's going to change. GLaDOS is a contender. Yeah, I think that's a great choice. I think GLaDOS is a really interesting character. Iconic, funny, well-written, has an actual arc in an interesting way. Great choice. Yeah, great choice. I think a great choice for this competition. If you would like to be entered again, you can type in "We Are the Bag" right now. Where E the bag? All right. Roll it. Streamlabs. Zedenia? Zaid? Enya? What do you got for me? Madeline from Celeste, because she represents a minority population, being transgender in a subtle way with a story that everyone can relate to, but everyone will relate to in different levels. Yeah, okay. Madeline, I think, is a great choice. I think you're very right in, that idea of, and I was talking about this a bit on Celeste Sunday. I'm playing through Celeste, if anyone didn't know. And of that idea of how she very much represents like the journey of the lead creator on the game, Maddie Thorson, and was kind of a reflection of their experience without them even really realizing it, which I think is really cool. I think it's also, a story with a trans character that like the center of it isn't necessarily about like the struggles that come from being trans, which I think it's good story. It's good to have stories that are about those struggles, but I think it's really good to have stories that are just about other things too, to have a fuller representation and not have every story be about one very specific avenue. I think Brett Sword, hey, thank you. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the sub. I think also with it goes through a bunch of other, self-discovery and themes of like anxiety. Anxiety is like a huge thing. And I'll say I connect less with this game than a lot of people seem to, but the thing I really connect with is the anxiety stuff, the whole like picture a feather and keep it in. I use that actual technique now. Like I have used that technique when I'm feeling like a panic attack coming on, which is very cool. Like a game has helped give me a therapeutic technique, which is fucking rare. It's super rare. And I think also, I don't want to talk too much on Farewell because I haven't played it myself, but I know some of the themes in it that like are about grief, and not overcoming grief, but like living with grief. And I think that's really cool. I'm really excited to play that part of it to feel that stuff as time goes on. But I still really like having someone with anxiety like me representing. Yeah, for sure. I think that's what's cool is like, I think, cause I feel you. There are certain aspects of the game that I connected to, but I didn't have the reaction a lot of people did while playing Celeste. Personally, I did not. But I can see what it did and I can appreciate it. You know? I can see what it did and I can appreciate it because I know games that did that for me. You know, I know games that did that for me. I know characters that did that for me. And those games and characters won't do that for everyone. But yeah, you can see the threads of what it's doing. And yeah, I like that a lot. Relates to that layer very hard. Yeah. What's a game that did that for you? Outer Wilds. Outer Wilds is a massive game that did that for me. Not even so much with the characters, but just like the themes and things going on in the game in general. But yeah. Now I think Madeline has been a beacon for a lot of folks going through various things, and I think that's what's great about her character is like relatable in a lot of ways, perseverant as well, lots of various things she's trying to overcome. Yeah, good stuff. Chat, do we think she's a contender? It's also great because she's one of those video game characters that you connect with through game. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Is the like mechanics of frustration and overcoming those frustrations is neat. Right? It's like you get to feel the joy of overcoming certain things with her. I don't know. I think it's cool, you know? It's a cool melding of mechanic and character. If you could choose a character for this, which would you choose? Surely the King. No. I don't know that I'd choose any character from Hollow Knight. All right, is Madeline a contender? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Wow. Chat, I forget how much a lot of you love Celeste. And I'll be honest with you. Replaying it on stream, replaying it on Sunday was a lot of fun. Replaying it on Sunday was a lot of fun. And reminded me of some things that I maybe didn't appreciate my first time through. And I'm excited to get back to it. All right, 15 seconds. It's going to be Celeste Sunday until I finish Celeste stuff. Thung Defender is not a contender. All right. Madeline, easy move on. Great choice. Great choice. All right, if you would like to be moved forward, we are the bag. We are the bag. Massive yes, Madeline deserves it. Yeah. Really good writing. And yeah, I think that point of melding gameplay mechanics with writing. I'm trying to think of who deserves it from Hollow Knight. And I think that the characters are all a little too obscure to deserve it. Zote, maybe? All right, let's roll it. The Skeleton Men. Quirrell is good. It's got a lot of good characters, but best of all time? Best of all time? I don't know. I don't know. All right, you got 10 seconds, Skeleton Man. Makes me sad that Ezio is considered old. Ezio is old. When was the last game with Ezio in it? 10 years? What was the third one? Revelation? What was it? Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed 2 Brotherhood, and Assassin's Creed 2... Assassin's Creed 2 3. All right. Roll it back. Mace. Okay. So Macy had to leave earlier. Macy said... Macy's choice is Dirt Rally Co-Driver. Dirt Rally Co-Driver. Yeah. That's Macy's choice. And we're just going to go with that. We're just going to roll it. Dirt Rally Co-Driver? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Dirt Rally Co-Driver, chat. Does anyone know anything about Dirt Rally Co-Driver? All right. Dirt Rally Co-Driver. I just imagine, you know, this guy. This is who we're voting on, I guess. Right? Right? All right. Unfortunately, Dirt Rally Co-Driver does not make it onto the list. Sorry, Mac. All right. If you would like to be entered, type in "We Are the Bag" into chat, and we'll do the next roll. You all are no fun. True. Dutch Vandeling as the Dirt Rally Co-Driver. All right, let's roll it. Plebstar 54, what do you have for me today? Who do we have? Who's on the list right now? Contenders, 4 people on here: Arthur, Joel, GLaDOS, and Madeline from Celeste. And then Dutch has lost, Akechi from Persona 5 lost, and Dirt Rally Co-Driver unfortunately did not make it on. Tried his damnedest. Tried hard. If Dirt Rally Co-Driver made on the list but Dutch didn't. Yeah. What is this? Currently, we are choosing video game characters for my next competition. I've been doing these brackets where we choose best video game characters. So if you would like to enter, you can type "We Are the Bag." I will roll, and then if your name gets picked, you can suggest a character. We'll talk about it, and then we'll vote on it. I'm going to roll another one. Jack, who you got for me? Feldspar's solid, but Jack, are you fucking kidding me right now? You're supposed to be the mature one, Jack. Someone's got to suggest Knack. This also includes stuff outside the game. For example, comic series that goes with the game. Look. Think about this, though. Think about it. This is a publicly held vote for best video game character of all time. So it helps if I know the character. It helps if other people watching know the character. So if you choose someone from a comic, what is the chance that that person will be picked? You can submit it. I don't mind. But I gotta tell you, there's no shot that it'll win. All right, Natiko, what do you got for me? Artist from A Short Hike. Your suggestion for the best video game character of all time is the artist from A Short Hike. Look, I love A Short Hike. I love A Short Hike. But the artist is your pick. The artist is your pick. Listen, I'm not trying to bully you. I'm not trying to bully you. All right, please refrain from just dropping names. Like you can see, there is very clearly a process by which stuff is being picked. Like very clearly a process. So just dropping names is going to be annoying, and I'll probably time you out. Do I have Do I have it in the title? Yeah, I have it in the title. Don't just, yeah, you should know. You should know by now. Don't just put names. All right, the artist character who draws various portraits throughout. What are some reasons you like the artist so much? You don't have to re-enter. It just might not re-enter you. Sometimes it unenters people. I mean, I think Claire probably has a better chance than the artist. I mean, why do you think the artist from Short Hike is the best video game character? You know, if that's your pick, that's fine. I'm telling you, Claire definitely has a better chance. I don't know if Claire has the best chance, but learns to pay for themselves rather than thinking of what others should pay for them. Very cool message. I agree. That is a good message. That is a good message. So, chat, I'm sorry to bully you. I'm not trying to bully. It's just we got to remember what's likely to be picked. But I also appreciate people going hard for their favorites. I can appreciate that. Keep bullying me. Helps me remember the masses. Yeah, 5 masses. And obviously, you know, I mean, Madeline moved on with flying colors. So it's not that characters from indie games or less popular games can't move forward and win. That was a can. Short Hike might be a little too obscure, unfortunately. The artist in Short Hike might be even more obscure. But let us see. 1 for yes. Is the artist a contender who is self-taught, paints for themselves, and doesn't care about what others think? Which is admittedly a good message. Are they a contender or not? Chat, there is no way that 18 of you think that the artist from A Short Hike is a contender. There is no shot. There is zero shot. I bet you. I will hold all the ones accountable to see if you've even played a short hike. I do not believe that all 20 of the people voted have played a short hike and even know the character. I don't fucking believe it. I don't believe it. I haven't played it. We are voting for the best. We are voting for the best character. We're not pity voting because somebody made a pick that wasn't going to win. We're not pity voting. We are voting for the best character. Don't get me wrong. I think I like that Natoko shot, okay? I appreciate that. I respect that. And I think there is truth. The painter has a good message. But the best character of all time, 20 of you do not believe that. Cap. All right, we are the bag if you'd like to enter again. Mitch, I've been yelling at chat all day. It's all I know how to do. All right, let's roll it. I'm gonna say Madeline. Yeah, Madeline's a great pick. All right. Super. Who do you got for me? These are the ones who have been picked so far. The artist from A Short Hike. All right. Super change the future. I kind of think Hilda from Zelda Link Between Worlds. Ooh. Is that who you want to go with? Learn French. Yeah, I'm sorry. You kind of think or you kind of definitely want. Bum bum ba da 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 ba da bum bum bum. All right, let's talk about Hilda. Sure of it. Awesome. Hilda is interesting because looking at Link Between Worlds, just as a refresher for anyone who's been a while or maybe you haven't played it. Link Between Worlds has similar to A Link to the Past, a light Hyrule and a dark Hyrule. And Hilda is essentially the Zelda of the dark Hyrule, which is very, very interesting. That's an idea and theme, the light world versus dark world, that is explored in the first Link to the Past. But here we really see it with bigger, deeper characters. So to see kind of Zelda's counterpart, who goes throughout that game trying to do what she can to save her kingdom. Can I unenter? I can unenter you. She also has purple hair. Remember my video on purple. She is an inversion of the hero, a darker version of Zelda as a hero. And honestly, I think what I like about Hilda is in some ways she is the most interesting version of Zelda out there. I think she's technically a different character, but I think she's kind of in the top 3 most interesting Zeldas we see on screen. I think not Midna. What am I saying? I think Tetra is one of the most interesting Zeldas, as starts as pirate girl and eventually falls into her role as princess. I think that's interesting. And then goes back to pirate. I like that. I think Skyward Sword Zelda, maybe not interesting, but likable for sure. And a very good relationship between her and Link. Probably one of my favorites in the series. I like Breath of the Wild Zelda, although I'm not a huge fan of her. I don't love the direction they went with the voice performance, but That's a different issue. Lud broke the sub record already? Ludwig Sevens. But yeah, Hilda, I think, is kind of the most interesting version of Zelda. We one of the most, for sure. We see her make moves. We see her do what she can to defend her kingdom and save her kingdom, even if it's not the best thing in the world. You know, she does wrong. She does things that are bad for other people in order to protect her people. And I think that is really interesting and a good use of destroying Hyrule for her own kingdom. Yeah, I think that's an interesting parallel. It's like she tried to do something that she thought was for the good of her people that would be for the bad of other people. And I think that's a really interesting dilemma in fiction. But yeah, I think she's a great sort of antagonistic force, ally / antagonist. Interesting motivation, and the sort of thing I'd like to see more in games like that. Anyway, is Hilda a contender? One for yes, two for no. Make your votes heard. $30 seconds left. $15 seconds left. Five, four, three, two, one. Unfortunately, Hilda will not make it, but a great character, a great antagonist.
We're individual people, which is crazy.
Sorry, I want to watch this a bit.
Thank you.
Twitch history.
Thank you very much, boys.
Twitch history.
I mean, 7 hours and 24 minutes left in this subathon, though. It's not over yet. Just one record.
Do you think he'll get to 300,000?
No sappy speeches until tonight.
Chad almost crashed your laptop. Look at his viewership. I wish. Oh man, I missed it. I didn't think he'd hit it till after I was done with stream, to be honest.
Ninja. Records are meant to
Yeah,
be, I'd be lying if I wasn't a little
you think Lud will raid me?
record on Twitch, and then exploding eyes emoji.
So yeah, Ludwig he's a streamer on Twitch, has been doing a month-long subathon, and it is ending today. And essentially every sub he's gotten added time to a clock, and after the goal was after 31 days, he would have more subs than the record, which was about 270 subs. 270,000 subs, sorry, that Ninja got a few years ago, which seemed impossible to break. But just the size of this and the amount of kind of gifters out there helped Ludwig blow past it. So, yeah, he's had a crazy, wild month. A wild month that has ended in breaking a massive record that kind of seemed impossible to break. With that said, I think other people could break it if they wanted to. They would have to be pretty dedicated. And if like Ludwig was a little more scummy, he could have broken it a lot easier. But Like if XQC did this same thing, he would get 500,000 subs easy, you know? Yeah, bigger audience, bigger creator. If he did that shit, he'd be on the same pace or a higher pace. But I think it's that Ludwig's like the biggest creator to do something like this so far, to do a 30-day subathon. Wild stuff. Wild stuff. But let's continue our thing, which is more important. Best video game character. We are the bag. If you'd like to be re-entered, I'm going to roll it. EA Sports 69, what do you got for me? Pog. We are making our own Twitch history. Hear me out. This is a bad start. Matt from Wii Sports. Matt from Wii Sports. Iconic. Is Matt a contender? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Iconic counts as great. Does it? Does it, though? Does it, though? I mean, have we thought about does it, though? Raz going to bed, so would you kind of remove me? Thanks. I'm not going to remove people because there's just too much. People got to leave. But I appreciate your kindness. I'll try to keep it in mind if you do get rolled. All right. 18 of you are devious memers. The other 23 are actual good chatters. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No shot, Matt from Wii Sports. No fucking shot. I do think any character that you need to say blank from game, it's going to be rough. All right, we are the bag if you'd like to be re-entered into the pool. Oh, by the way, chat. Someone type in Hollow D. Capital D. What? Lowercase h. Capital D. There we go. All right. Blue 22 bro, what do you got for me? It dances. I have 2 Pepe Ds in it. Uh-oh. How do I undo one? Ymir. Is this clown one? Hey, what do you got for me? Why do I have 2 enabled? Why? Hey Gonzo, how you doing? Just choosing some video game characters. What about May from Night in the Woods? Okay. Yeah, which Pepe D do we want, Frank? The one with the clown stuff or the one without the clown stuff? Not the clown. I'll remove it. All right. Yeah, Made from Night in the Woods. I think for some people playing the game, a very frustrating character. But for other people, a very relatable and understandable character. And as someone who has suffered a lot with, being in college and struggling with stress and anxiety and not knowing if it's a fit for me or what I want to do, I found May to be very relatable. And yeah, I think her struggles are very interesting. Who that is? Yeah, so Night in the Woods, great indie game. That I make this connection just because of Shammy. Night in the Woods, this is May, main character. But I feel like for people who liked Life is Strange and certain things in Life is Strange, I think Night in the Woods explores similar territory in a more mature way. Is kind of what Shammy's video talks about. And I think I big agree with it. I like Greg more, like B more. See, you're supposed to like them though. They're supposed to be your friends where you are May. Yeah, Mitch, I think what you're saying, I saw a distressing amount of myself in May. A big agree. And it's like uncomfortable, but also like that's what I think makes it a very relatable and good game for a lot of folks. Yeah, I think May's a interesting protagonist. And I think some people will be very aggravated by her. But others will be like, yeah, okay, this is me. I'm looking at a mirror. This is me. Don't like what I see. If you don't know the game, don't vote. I disagree. Because ultimately we're trying to determine the best character. And if we're only letting people who have played games do these votes, if that's how we're pitching it, once we get to the tournament of 16, like if May makes it and then what? Then she'll just get dominated right away. Or we can say, don't vote if you haven't played the game. You know? But then it'll be like only people who have played the game voting, which means it's probably more likely she'll be picked because people are going to be fans of it. And then she'll move forward on the basis of people haven't played Night in the Woods opposed to she's the best character. I think May is a great contender. I think she'd be a great contender for the list. But there's never going to be perfect. Yeah. But here's the thing. Don't you think like a game spread and people feeling strongly towards it is part of the thing? I don't know. Here. Night in the Woods sales. Night in the Woods sales. I'm not seeing anything. Steam Spy. All data on game. This is a very broad range. 200,000 to 500,000. So I guess like 500,000 is the high end. What's Celeste? Okay, that was a few years ago though. Okay, So Night in the Woods was in the 200 to 500,000 range. Celeste is in the 500 to a million. So I don't know. I mean, obviously Madeline like just booped through, no issue. You know, we'll see how May does. My point is, you know what I mean. My point is like, it's always going to be hard to pick, but if someone from a part of it is how much they can bust through the noise of being less popular, or if they have become a popular character, what reason? It's always going to be hard. Anyway, 1 is May a contender. Yes for 1, 2 for no. You can enter Solaire when it's your turn if you want. Matt from Wii Sports was submitted and did in fact lose. 30 seconds remaining. May from Night in the Woods. Oh, shit. Finish poll. 65%. I think I said if it's above 60, it makes it. I think that's a good measure right now, 60. So May can be in the contender list. Congrats, May. That doesn't mean she's going to be in the bracket for certain, but definitely a contender. All right, if you'd like to be re-entered, we are the bag. We are the bag. We are the bag. All right, roll it. Films and JRPGs, what do you got for me? I may have seen you said you bounced, but I'll give you a little bit. Solid Snake. Okay. An icon. I don't know why I said it like that. I'm going to be honest. I've only played Metal Gear Solid 4. But you are Solid Snake in that, right? What do we want to listen to? Pokey and Chill? That sounds good. Only played 4. So help me out here. Metal Gear Solid 3, you don't play as Solid Snake. But you look exactly like Solid Snake. Because you're like a clone or some shit. Right. But here you're old man, you're getting old quickly in 4. You're young in 2. You're a block in 1. You're less blocky in these, way more detailed. Ask Kojima. Yeah, I mean, clearly an icon. Cheeks slapped together. Legend. Talks like this. I'm Solid Snake. Who do you play in 5? You don't play Solid Snake, obviously. Metal Gear. So Big Boss. And Big Boss is who you play in 3 as well, correct? Metal Gear is kind of dumb, huh? punished Venom Snake. All right. I don't know a lot about Snake, but clearly a icon. Clearly a icon in gaming. From what I remember, has some interesting struggles in 4 in terms of him getting older. Too old for this shit. Yeah, I don't know. Solid Snake, a contender. Yes, 1 is yes, 2 is no. Give me your votes. Yeah, this makes sense. It makes sense. I won't disagree with it. I need to do some more research on Snake and what makes Snake so great before doing this competition, because I don't want to just not include him on the list, but also if I have nothing to say about him, it's going to be bad news bears.
We're about there. We're about there, boys.
There it is. Congrats, Ludwig. Cool shit. All right. Snake, easy contender. Easy contender. All right. Go with another character. Saw your opportunity to pick Solid Snake. Very nice. All right. We are the bag if you'd like to be re-entered. How did you not get a single gift? Are you not subbed? Have you been unsubbed the whole time? Yeah, I saw, I can't remember where I saw the comment. It was just a stray comment somewhere being like, LOL, my friend has 20k channel points and hasn't been gifted a sub. So funny. And I'm like, I have 150k channel points and I've never been gifted a sub. What are you complaining about 20k and you've never been gifted? What are you fucking talking? What the fuck? All right, Zoy Sauce, what do you got for me? I think Zoy Sauce left. I'll give you 10 seconds if you're still here. Zoy Sauce is here. Zoy is not gone. Who's your character? Ellie from The Last of Us. All right, we have Joel on the list, but Ellie as well. The first game, the plucky teen who shifts Joel's perspective on life. One of the best scenes in any media ever, in my opinion, is her and Joel talking in that house when they're by Salt Lake. And she's like, everybody except pushes Joel, fucking for you. It's just so good. I'm not her, you know. You are treading on some mighty thin ice. 100% it's near Salt Lake. It is near Salt Lake City. You're wrong. Tommy's camp is not far from Salt Lake City. Dude. It's only 4 hours. This is not far. This is Nier. It's Nier. Oh, did that not show up? Let me make sure I'm not doxing myself in any way. There we go. This is close. You're telling me this isn't close? Shake my damn head. Yeah, Ellie's pretty iconic. A good character who then, you know, shifts in Last of Us Part 2, and not getting into too much spoilers, shifts into a more angry, confused character who you see like the core of who she was in the first game, but also see how that shell has deteriorated into someone different, someone less kind of confident in the people around them, less trusting and angry, filled with rage that doesn't know exactly where to direct it. And some of it's at Joel, some of it's at herself, some of it's at Abby. And an interesting arc there too. Goes from, I think, being one of the most likable companions ever made to one of the most conflict-ridden protagonists. And I know a lot of people don't like her arc in the second game. I know a lot of people don't like the second game in general. I love the second game. I think it's a great story, and I think Ellie's journey in it is really interesting. And I think I get why people don't like. I get why people don't like when a character that they love turns into a character that they can't be proud of. I get that. But I think it's an interesting way to tell the story. Maybe not what I would have wanted for Ellie. Obviously, you know, as a fan of Ellie as a character, what I want from Ellie is for her to have a great life. You know what I mean? That's what you want for Ellie. I think that's part of the reason some people are really mad, is because you love Ellie. You love Joel. You know, and you want these characters to just have a good life. And they don't. I think that makes it hard. I hate Ellie. Yeah. And I think what's hard is you go from in the first game to being like this kid, I'm going to protect her with everything I have, to then the second game where it's like, we messed up along the way. I was a bad dad. You aren't the person that you could have been. But yeah, Ellie a contender. I like the second game more too. I think the first game is way cleaner. It's a way cleaner story. For better and, you know, for worse. And I don't think they needed the second game by any means. Iconic baddie, tattoo sleeve, hot, self-driven, gay, bonus point, I'm in love with her. I don't think you can count this. I don't think that gets a count. You got unentered, Green Falcon. $15 seconds. 15 seconds. All right. Ellie is a contender. Not all that surprising. Great character. Great arc. Interesting to see what the third game might do. I think a lot of games with child characters have an issue with over-fostering a sense of paternity with the kid. So when a sequel comes around and the kid is older and more independent, it feels like they've been robbed of the joy of seeing them. Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing with a lot of stories, is like fiction versus reality. Like fiction just is going to work different than reality. Obviously, an adult Ellie is going to be way different than a kid Ellie. There's going to be elements of her that are the same because that's how people work. But I don't know, just think about 12-year-old you versus however old you are now. 13, you know. But yeah, 12-year-old you versus 20-plus-year-old you. You are different in a lot of ways. You don't have the same innocence. You don't have the same drives. You know, you're a different person. And you got to see every day. You know, you got to see every day and how you grew up and all that. And people in your life you got to see. But yeah, you don't see all of the moments that led Ellie to where she is. Although I do think the game does a solid job of giving a few different times that are pretty solid moments of like her development. But that is certainly a problem. That's a problem a lot of people have with the Avatar series between Avatar: The Last Airbender and Korra, is you get a lot of changes in its primary cast. Aang, from what we hear about him as an adult, is a lot different and not necessarily the best dad. And it's like, you don't necessarily see how that line gets there from The Last Airbender to Korra. You know, and Toph becomes a cop and you don't necessarily see how she got there from Avatar: The Last Airbender to Korra. It doesn't make those bad choices necessarily, but because we as viewers don't get to see their character progression that led them to that point, it does feel a little bit like they changed so much and I didn't get to see it and I was robbed of that. I think that's a big issue with How I Met Your Mother's finale as well. This is a little different, but you know, spoilers to How I Met Your Mother, but I don't actually care. At the end, you find out, spoilers, the mother has died. And pretty much the whole point of the show is Ted telling his kids about how he fell in love with the mother, how he, for a while, dated Robin, how he was over Robin when he met the mother, and now wants to get with Robin because they have history and, you know, they're happy. They can be happy together. And it's an interesting idea on paper, right? And there's a moment where the daughter's like, I don't buy it. The story isn't about mom. It's about Aunt Robin. It's like, it's been 5 years. We're okay with it. And, you know, that's fine for the kids, right? In the story, it makes sense. The kids have been grieving. They're not over their mother's death, obviously, but, you know, they've grieved. But the issue was viewers didn't get to grieve. Viewers didn't have the time to grieve the mother. It was pretty much like in a 2-minute span, you find out she's dead. And then Ted's like, I'm going to go date Aunt Robin. You know, in the lore, in the quote unquote actual lives of the characters, they've had time to process. They've had time to get over stuff, but the viewer hasn't. And that's often a problem with fiction, is you can work out how characters have grown and changed over time. But if you don't see it, it's going to be hard for you to buy it as a viewer. But yeah, anyway, we are the bag. God amongst cookies. What do you got for me? It was a solid loss, Mac. I hope you enjoyed my rant. Jack, I picked you earlier, but you were gone. Punkmeister, what does Control R do? For Gremlins. Control R makes you skip to the first person who gets picked. Okay. I really don't want to play Benefati right now. Why would you tell me to do that? Why the fuck would you? Got him. Got him. You stood no chance. You really stood no chance. You think I'm actually going to Control R and have to start at the beginning of Benefati again? You actually think? Shake my damn head. All right, B Gremlins, what do you got for me? Main issue with How I Met Your Mother was that the end was decided when the show was started. I don't have an issue with that. If it had ended around season 4, which was originally planned, as expected, it would have made a lot more sense. But due to having to drag the show out, then it just felt really out of place. I mean, they should have adapted more. Oh, you said it. Sorry, it didn't show up on here. BT7274 from Titanfall viewed Jack Cooper get promoted to his pilot, and he starts out very sarcastic, but later you get some very memorable moments. BT. So this is Titanfall 2 with our sweet, I don't know who voices the robot, but Matthew Mercer playing Jack Cooper. Yeah, an interesting dynamic of them bonding. What's curveball special? What do they call it? Where he just throws you. We love it. We love it. Fastball special, is that it? Yeah, man, Titanfall 2 is just such a cool game. Just a cool, underappreciated game. I mean, it also sold pretty well, but I feel like it doesn't get talked about nearly enough in the conversation of best shooters of all time. But yeah, BT. Is BT a contender? Shout out to robots. Pilot, trust me. That's my robot voice. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Is BT a contender? Remember, the threshold is 60%. If it gets over 60% of the vote, it will move on to the contender list. $30 seconds remaining. Titanfall 2 was the best shooter. Tighter shooter has the best shooter of the last decade, but it got fucked by EA so hard. Yeah, let's get some ones in here, chat. 10 seconds. It's the mech from Titanfall 2. Get cultured, Cullen. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow, damn. Unfortunately, BT will not make it to the next round, but a solid character for sure. From a very good game. We are the bag if you'd like to be entered for the next one. %, Titanfall 2. All right, we are the bag, chat. Hero Salvation. What do you got for me? Hello, Frederick. How you doing? Lee from The Walking Dead. A great choice. A great choice. Lee is a very complicated character. Lee's a complicated character, similar to Joel. We get presented as him at the start, him being arrested. The rumor being that he killed the man who was sleeping with his wife. And yeah, it's, this balance of keeping his secret and also protecting the girl who saved his life in one occasion, and, saving her life as well. I think the guy was dead. It's been a minute since I've played. Let's look into it. All right, spoilers for Lee. All right, it's all up for grabs. Pre-apocalypse. Lee killed him in a fight. He was convicted of murder. Yeah. Killed him by accident. Yeah. So he's kind of this character that did something not good. and is trying to make up for it in some ways. And be a better person. The accident part is what's confused me. I mean, I think that they never really say like, I mean, I think you get it for, it's been a while since I played. I think essentially they frame it in a way where it wasn't necessarily him having the intent to murder, but like he was being threatening, fighting with the senator, and senator, I believe, fought back and, you know, led to one of those situations where you know, the famous movie situation is, I think, what's kind of implied of like you push someone a little too hard, they trip over a stool and slam their head on the coffee table and die. You know, it's like that sort of thing. I think that's kind of how it's framed. So it's not that he had intent to murder. It's just something that happened. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it good. But it is what happened. Hard to choose one. It is hard. But yeah, you know, a very interesting relationship between him and Clementine, kind of no matter what way you cut it. And it's pretty amazing if you go on to play the later ones. Like, his presence is just always felt. Like, you know, spoilers, he does die at the end of the first series. But he's just kind of, his presence exists throughout. He always stays there. That's sus, bro. And he has one of the best lines you can say. Final words to Clementine, you kind of get to choose them. Keep that hair short. Keep that hair short, chat. God damn, keep that hair short. Just breaks your heart. Great character, interesting kind of sort of redemption. And yeah, very, very good character dynamic between him and Clementine. But chat, is Lee a contender? Yeah. That's rough. One for yes, two for no. All right. 30 seconds left, chat. Thirty seconds. 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lee is in fact a contender. Congratulations to Lee Everett. Is this how you spell it? That looks wrong. That looks wrong. Lee Everett. There needs to be another E in there somewhere, right? Everett. Congratulations, Lee. All right, let's continue. We'll do one more, and then I'm going to go refill my water and urinate. We are the bag, chat. Let's roll it. No soy. No soy. Sospechoso. Single dad, a force of nature, a classic. Bowser deserves to at least try to be here. I like his history, his constant changes from goofy to threatening to goofy again. It's cool. Let's put some respect on Bowser's name. I think that's perfectly valid and fair. And when we're talking about Mario characters, listen, Mario, obviously an icon, but is Mario even a good contender for this list? Who is the best contender from the Mario franchise? And I don't know that it's not Bowser. Bowser has some of the biggest personality in the series. If we're talking about Bowser, especially Super Mario RPG Bowser, Chef's Kiss, a classic, goes from villain to friend to villain again post game. It's a very interesting character dynamic between him and Mario and Peach. And, he's a little evil and problematic for sure. Definitely a problematic fave. Kidnapping woman and trying to get her to marry him. A little incel-y, right? It's a little incel, a little too incel-y, but still interesting, right? And then he goes on and plays sports with Mario too. So he is at least able to put it to the side. Kidnapped fairies, true, for magic and whatnot. But yeah, ultimately, I think Bowser's a pretty classic villain, a loving father, tries his best. Great Bowser's Inside Story, Thousand Year Door, Mario RPG, Origami King. So all of the RPG games. Also taught us how to use Nintendo Switch parental controls. True. Colin says he's kind of sexy too. I mean, yeah, good character. Bowser's hot. Is Bowser hot? Is this the line we're taking? A great father. I mean, is he a great father? He's a father for sure. Maybe if I said great father, he does leave his kids their own castles. He leaves his children in their own castles alone. And doesn't really do much to protect them when a middle-aged man just comes rolling along and beats the crap out of them. Is that a good father figure? I think it's neglectful. So I don't know. I think maybe we do give him a little too much credit as being a good dad. He's kind of like, he's the dad that's going to give his kid an iPad and just have him sit on the couch and just go do his own thing, right? He puts his kids in castles. He's like, all right, here's some Koopas, here's some Goombas. We'll put some lava there. You're good. I'm going to go do my own thing. And that's that. That's what he does. But listen, is he a contender? That's all we care about. Is Bowser a contender? Is Bowser a contender? 1 for yes, 2 for no. He's letting his kids chill while trying to get them a new mom. I mean, an attempt's made, I suppose. I'm kind of in the mood to listen to some Stardew music. Is there a Stardew show? Okay. All right. Bowser officially a contender. Congratulations to Bowser. I'm going to turn this down a bit. That's who is the mother, but no one asks how is the mother. Next up is Putt Putt. All right, chat. I am gonna go get some water. This is our list. I'm gonna go get some more water and urinate. I'll be right back. How does this work? Why are you doing this to me? I don't actually even care. Be right back. Chad, I've been here the whole... Oh, I forgot my water. Fuck. God damn it. God damn it. Shit. Fuck. Goddamn. All right. We are the bag if you want to be entered in this stupid fucking contest. Did I put Bowser on the list? I did. How's this been? How's the lo-fi remix been? Good or bad? See me up. We bopping? We bopping? It's a little quiet right now. It's about to get loud. It's a bit sped up. What's a lo-fi remix? What do you mean? Do you want to just listen to Stardew Valley music? I can give you a bit sped up. Is this what you want? All right. The man tree. What do you got for me? Spit a few bars. 1998. That's all I got for you. all I got for you right now. Thank you for the hydrate. Handsome Jack. Handsome Jack, very much one of the great villains. One of the great villains of gaming. Comes in very hot with edgy jokes. And yeah, I think, and I talked about this in my villains video. What I like about Handsome Jack is he very comical. You think of him as this goofy villain who's just all about telling jokes and being, you know, over the top. Saying things you probably shouldn't to you and going on long rants. And it kind of disarms you for a moment near halfway in the game where like some pretty tragic stuff happens to him. Or at least the way he views it is tragic. Which makes it hit really hard because you're like, oh, this guy who has been joking with me this whole game, it's kind of like a toying relationship between the two, is now miserable. And I think that's an interesting shift in use of comedy to make the hard moments hit harder. And then, yeah, obviously they liked him a lot because they made the whole pre-sequel thing where he's a much bigger character, not so evil at that point. And also was a big character in the Telltale games and very interesting in that. Yeah, I think Handsome Jack's a great villain for sure and certainly a possible contender. Didn't like Borderlands and didn't like Handsome Jack. That's fair. Is Handsome Jack a contender? 1 for yes, chat. 2 for no. Make your votes heard. Too many edgy meme jokes. See, it's been a while since I've played. So I don't really remember how memey they were. Yeah, yes. 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 Chat not having the Handsome Jack life. Chat not feeling Handsome Jack. Best villain is certainly Gruntilda. Come on. Come on. Gruntilda's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to act like Grunty's not solid. Grunty is a solid villain. But best? I don't know. Thought they were looking up whether or not he was a contender. Oh, well. Yeah, I have to type the poll in. All right, 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 4, 2, 1, 0. Handsome Jack, unfortunately not going to make it on this list. Chat hates Handsome Jack. Chat hates him. They despise him. Rough stuff for that guy. All right, we are the bag if you'd like to be entered in the next part of this. I don't know if I'm feeling this soundtrack either. Sometimes it's just like you just got to keep playing Zelda and chill because it just works. Zelda and chill just works. It works with everything. It's just too good. All right, let's roll it. XNAM X10, what do you got? Excuse me. Abby Anderson, baby. Abby from The Last of Us Part 2, performed by Laura Bailey. Certainly a protagonist that has caused a lot of controversy and drama. And chat, we cannot talk about Abby without talking about spoilers. So, if you do not know what happens in the first 3 hours of The Last of Us Part 2, I suggest you mute now. And chat, please do not type spoilers in there, okay? Please do not type spoilers in chat. Just let me talk about it. All right, so if you do not know what happens in the first couple hours of The Last of Us Part 2, somehow, if you're the one person that doesn't know the spoiler, Abby fucking goes golfing with Joel. Abby takes a fucking golf lesson, and the golf ball is Joel's fucking head. Abby, the daughter of the doctor who is going to operate on Ellie, who Joel is forced to kill in some capacity in The Last of Us Part 1. You either can do it brutally by simply walking towards him, grabbing his knife, and just murdering the fuck out of him. Or, you can shoot him in the knee and he dies too. There's lots of ways it can go. The canon, I think, is that he grabs him and stabs him. But yeah, Abby goes on to kill Joel. And, that action in and of itself is something that's going to get a lot of people to hate Abby. Just despise her. Because whether or not you look at what Joel did as right or wrong, most people are still going to like Joel. Most people are still going to have positive feelings about Joel. It's hard not to if you like the first game. So, yeah. Was Abby justified in killing Joel? Probably. Probably in some ways in that universe, it makes sense. You get it. Should she have killed Joel? No, of course she shouldn't have. And Joel shouldn't have killed the doctor. Joel shouldn't have killed her dad. Lots of different ways to look at it. What I think is done well about Abby is you play as her in the beginning. Then she murders Joel. So you're going to play as her again. You get that sense. You're like, she's alive. I'm going to play as her again. You play through the entire game as Ellie. It's this exhausting journey to find her, to kill Abby, to take her out. And then in the moment where you're like, I want this game to be over. I want this game to end. That is the moment that you're actually like, oh, I'm only halfway through this game. And then you switch over to Abby's perspective of the past 3 days, which is a much different story with light connections to Ellie, but connections nonetheless. And yeah, I think what I found effective about Abby's story is how it plays into the major theme of what I think The Last of Us Part 2 is trying to talk about, which is that life is fucking complicated and forgiveness is complicated, and sometimes something you have to do in life is learn to live with people you can never forgive. To me, that is what The Last of Us Part 2 does. That is what I got from The Last of Us Part 2. Maybe you didn't, and that's fine. I don't really care. It's what I got out of it. Is that the game is about learning to live with people you can't forgive. And sometimes that's yourself, sometimes that's loved ones, sometimes that's someone who has wronged you. And I think the Abby section, playing as Abby, is like a way to push that theme harder than anything else the game could have done. Because even if you think what Joel did was wrong at the end of The Last of Us, even if you think it was wrong for him to murder the Fireflies, which in some way you should think it's wrong. He did not do it in the right way. And I think his hand was forced in some situations, but not in the way that he escalated it. But they were in the wrong too. The Fireflies were in the wrong too. That's the issue, is everyone is in the wrong. Everyone was in the wrong. Different ways. But yeah, I think what makes Abby great is her pushing that theme. And what you learn throughout The Last of Us Part 2 is Ellie is struggling to forgive herself. Ellie is struggling to forgive Joel. And she has to learn to be able to live with both loving and hating Joel. She has to learn to live with both loving and hating herself. And by the end, she learns to live. Spoilers for Last of Us Part 2. It's hard to talk about without going to the full spoilers. So if you don't want any spoilers, I assume you're muted, but I'm going to talk about the end. And at the end, she learns to also live with Abby being able to be alive in the world as well. And that's kind of her final choice, is realizing she is not going, like, killing Abby will do nothing. Killing Abby will not bring her peace, will not make her happy, will not make the world better. In fact, I think she recognizes that Abby being alive actually probably makes the world better. Because she sees Abby's connection with Lev and how, even just looking at a view, right? You walk in that final scene as you save Abby and Lev and are walking to the boats just before the big fight. And Ellie watches Abby carry Lev in a very similar way to how Joel carried her. I think in that moment, like, that's when those seeds start to dawn on her. That's when the seeds start to dawn on her. That, like, people who do bad can still make the world better. The world would have been better with Joel at this point, right? And the world is better with Abby. And yeah, I think playing as Abby is an interesting experiment in doing that, because most players are going to be mad at her. Most players are going to be mad that she killed Joel. It is hard not to. You can understand why. You can understand why she did it. But they're still going to be mad about it. So her entire campaign is essentially like learning to, like, not forgive her, but learning to understand that she has a life and problems and good qualities far outside of the bad she's done. And it doesn't forgive the bad, but it does have value. It does have value. And that's why I like Abby so much, is she's a character that I walked away being like, I understand you. I understand why you did what you did. And I also understand you from a human level of the mistakes you're making and the things you are trying to fix about yourself, and how you're doing that through your relationship with Lev. And I really liked that character connection between Abby and Lev. I think it's the strongest of the game. I think it's a really cool progression of Abby helping Lev just as much as Lev helps Abby. It's cool. I like it a lot. And by the end of Abby's section, I was like, I don't forgive you. I never forgave her. I understood her, though. And I think that is what The Last of Us Part 2 is trying to do. Poppy, I'm going to time you out. I'm going to time you out. Don't ever tell me to let's vote. Don't tell me how to run my stream. I'm sorry. Don't tell me how to run my stream. It's so fucking annoying. Please don't tell me. Please don't tell me that. That's always been a rule. Like, don't push me to vote. Let me talk about how stuff as much as I want. Let me have people unmute as long as I want. Please. You can run your own stream however you want to fucking run it. But let me talk for 40 minutes about The Last of Us Part 2 if I want to talk about The Last of Us Part 2 for 40 minutes. Anyway, that's what I like about Abby. I think she's a good character. Portrayed well. I get why everyone hates her, though. And that's okay. I think that's part of the point of her. Talking about characters that are characters on their own and not characters you can project. I think you can do either. But I will say, I imagine characters that you project yourself onto, in some instances, will be a lot harder. Because, like, yeah, how do you pitch Link, right? Because what personality does Link have? He's iconic. But I understand Abby, but I think they should have gone more radical, either evil, I disagree, or likable over time. She seems somewhere in the middle. I think that's the point. I think Abby is pretty likable, though. She's just different. I mean, she's just a different kind of character with different, like, things she likes. Pretty elf boy. I definitely don't think they should have made her evil. Because if she's evil, I think that defeats the purpose. But I think what's great is there is this point in The Last of Us where you have a fight between Abby and Ellie, and you're controlling it as Ellie. No, you're controlling it as Abby, and like you don't want to kill Ellie. But you also don't want Ellie to kill Abby. And then it's inverse later on, and it's that same feeling. And I at least for me, might not be for everyone, but that was it for me. The second fight, I actually put my controller down. That's the worst part of the game. I disagree. I don't think it's a bad fight at all. To me, it's more about the cycle of revenge. I don't think it's about the cycle of revenge. I think that's a more simplistic take that, like, if it was about the cycle of revenge, I don't know. I think it would do different things. That's definitely a theme in it. I'm not saying it's not a theme. But I mean, it's like the two sides of the coin. The cycle of revenge versus like learning to live with someone you can't forgive. That is the coin. Those are the two sides of the coin. And I think the very interesting part, the part that interests me most, is the learning to live with those who can't forgive. Anyway, let's vote on Abby. Is Abby a contender? Good point, but I never felt like I needed to understand Abby because the first game showed Joel as a brooding and hardened survivor that did horrible things to survive, so I knew Abby just felt justified to do, which I hated her for it regardless, but I didn't need a flashback. And I forced me to like Abby's dad. I like the zebra part. I like that scene. Billy Riggins playing the dad. Good stuff. 30 seconds. $15 seconds. Yeah, you can tell chatters to unmute. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Yeah. Personally, I think Abby 100% is a contender. But I don't think even if she won the contender, I don't think she would make it to the top 16 for me. Even though maybe personally she could be. I would have to think about it a lot. But based on a tournament like this, because of how conflicted people feel, how conflicted people are on her, there's no way she would make it past the first round. You know what I mean? There's just no way she would make it past the first round. So while I think she 100% is one of the great characters in game fiction, obviously there's no shot that she would win. Excuse me. The Last of Us is a bit young to have characters in the best video game character of all time competition. What are you talking about? Let me go full Hassan here and start yelling at one chatter. What are you talking about? Here for Spelunky. I don't play Spelunky, but here you go. What do you mean? It's 8 years old. And it's considered one of the greatest like stories in a game ever. So, okay, yeah, gotta take off Arthur Morgan then. Gotta take off Joel. I guess this was before The Last of Us. So, gotta take off Madeline, May, Ellie, Lee. Gotta take all those off. Oh, The Last of Us 2. I still think that's a bad take. It's not as monumentally bad as The Last of Us. It's not as monumentally bad as The Last of Us. That would have been a bad take. but I still disagree with your take. I understand it more. What do you got for us, Spelunky? Slayer from GG? What's GG? Slayer GG. Guilty Gear. Cool. Slayer from Guilty Gear. Oh, wait. Let me pretend like I know him. Yeah, I love Slayer. Just how he's, so often portrayed as a character who understands like a great deal more than other members of the cast. Having lived much longer, he possesses a strengthened sense of perspective, and as such, he generally remains calm and dignified regardless of the situation in which he finds himself. I think that's pretty great. I love that a lot. And despite this, he is not without passion. Slayer he's a lover of refined things like poetry, romance, and he often stops to admire the beauty he sees in the world of Guilty Gear as a whole, and and also in those younger than himself. In combat, his blood boils, and although he's occasionally frustrated by the lack of challenges others are capable of presenting him with, he is ever graceful to those whom he fights, offering them congratulations for a good performance. And you gotta love that. You gotta love that sort of thing. He's a vampire, male, unknown age, his height 185 centimeters, weight 70 kilograms. Blood type, it's impossible to analyze, from Romania, born Halloween, October 31st. Beautiful brown eyes. We gotta love Slayer. Who the fuck is Slayer? What the fuck is Guilty Gear? I've never played Guilty Gear. I know it's a fighting game though. Yeah, he looks like a Chad, got a nice haircut, handsome. Would hang out with, likes his wife. Cool. You would hate Guilty Gear. I believe it. I don't like fighting games all that much. Yeah, cool looking character. Definitely a Chad. I don't know why it's not showing up in here. Slayer is the biggest Chad ever. Does a Chad make for a good character automatically? There you go. Is Slayer a contender? Yeah, there's no chance this goes through. But we'll vote. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Chads are automatically good characters, Cap. Fucking Cap. This stream makes me... Well, if you're saying because I dunked on you for The Last of Us, you just didn't put the 2. I think your English is fine. You just didn't put the 2. You just put The Last of Us and not the 2. That's not really about your English. That was just missing a number. I think your English has been fine. I would not have even guessed that English wasn't your first language. You just forgot the 2, which is different. What is the most recent new genre you've delved into? All right, Slayer is not a contender. I don't know. New genre? We Are the Bag, if you like to enter. I don't know. I've been playing, I guess, like action RPG in Crosscode. It's a genre I don't play a lot. Like top-down action RPG. Up Delta CPP, what do you got for me? Game that's semi-known will never get to the tops because almost no one in here have played. Want to bet? Madeline from Celeste. May from Night in the Woods. Hilda's from Link. Rivali has no shot. Rivali has no shot, but I love the confidence. I love Rivali. Rivali, great music. Rivali's Gale, useful as fuck. Rivali as a character, people don't like him. People, in fact, don't like Rivali. I haven't played the Calamity, Age of Calamity, Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Attack on Titan, or whatever. So maybe he's good in that. Rivali is Falco, dude. Rivali is just kind of Falco. He looks like Falco and he acts like Falco. And don't get me wrong, I love Falco. Which is why I love Rivali. He's Falco. Rivali is Falco. Falco is... I don't know if Falco's cooler. You're just saying that because you're a Mango fan, man. Rivali definitely has the best music, though. Rivali should be thankful. You should be thankful. Falco's way cooler. No. But yeah, Rivali's an alright hero. Alright character. But people do kind of hate him. Because here's the thing. People hate characters that are kind of mean to them. Who never have their full redemption moment. And there might not be enough of him in the game. No, I can't play the Flight Range music because I don't want to. Is Rivali a contender, though? Daruk is the best champion. Interesting, because I would say Daruk is the worst champion. Here's my champion rating. Probably Urbosa's number one. And then second is probably Mipha, then Rivali, then Daruk. That's my order. Urbose has an interesting relationship with Zelda. Yeah, so that's what I like. Urbose has a good relationship with Zelda. Mipha has a good relationship with Link, which I think both of all that's interesting. I like Rivali because I like that kind of character who's very self-assured, and kind of has a rivalry with Link. And Daruk's just like there. Daruk's not bad. I just think he's the least interesting of the bunch. Sidon probably would have done a little better. Yeah, Sidon probably would have done a little better. All right. Rivali, not a contender. I don't think that Sidon would have made it, though. I think he'll be hard-pressed with most Breath of the Wild characters. Maybe Urbosa. All right, we are the bag if you'd like to go for it. Pushed your chances, yeah. All right, let's roll it. Naveed, you still here? Saw you here earlier, but don't know if you're still. Let's go. Who do we got? No need to worry about lurking. Lurking is a perfect state. Phoenix Wright, the ultimate underdog. Will I get in trouble for using Phoenix Wright music? Hopefully not. Chat. Phoenix goddamn Wright. Handsome man, good lawyer, good detective lawyer, kind of. It seems like a weird combination that maybe isn't what you're supposed to do. But either way, he does it and does it well. Objection! You know, I've played the fair bit of the first Phoenix Wright game. You gotta have some love for the character, for doing what's good, working hard to do what's good, and never giving up in the face of an unsurmountable threat. Large hands, true, but that might just be the perspective here. Handsome, smart, good guy. Does get help from dead people. An icon, certainly from a less popular franchise, but a great character. A great character in a cast of great characters. The kind of hero you want to get behind. So, Chad, I ask you, is Phoenix Wright a contender? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Only you can be the judge. This song bops so hard. 30 seconds remain. I don't know. I mean, infinite characters can win. These aren't necessarily what I'm going to go with. Like, I'm not going to... Like, you really think Bowser's going to be in the final bracket? This is just to give me a pool of people to pick from. Pool of people to pick from. That's a nice alliteration. All right, Phoenix Wright, congratulations. You have moved on. You are a contender. First vote that's passed. You've done it, Naveed. You've done it. All right. Cool. We are the bag if you'd like to be entered again. Excuse me. Monty. What do you got for me? Are there going to be some that Arda picked? No, you got to put those in. I mean, I might pick some depending on how things go. I'm going to be honest. I don't think I'm going to put Link or Mario in there. If people really think Link is a good contender, you think Mario's a good contender? Cloud is good. I think Kratos could be a good one too. And Zelda depends on the game. But Link and Mario, I don't know. They're iconic for sure. And I've seen some people make the point of, like, especially Link, like, you become Link. You are Link. You are the hero, you know? You are linked to Link. But a good character, I don't know. You know, it's hard. I haven't played Danganronpa. Love Chloe, she ain't making it. Chloe's pretty good. All right. Mighty Nifty, what do you got? Toon Link, though. I mean, Toon Link is the only version of Link I could really think that might be worth putting on a list like this, because he's certainly the one that has the most personality. Kratos from the God of War series, even before 2018, was an awesome addition to the to the Greek mythos and such a strong personality, but people constantly underestimate how compelling he was in those 6 games. Then 28, he became an all-time great. I think that is a very good suggestion. Yeah, I think you're right. I think Kratos, people do underestimate how good Kratos was in those old games. Like, he's an interesting character. He's an interesting character in those, who does have some good dynamics with other people, whether it be with Pandora or, you know, seeing things with his family and daughter. Like, it's good, and he's complex, and he's a real shitter in those compared to 2018, where he's a fair bit more reserved and further along in his journey, but, you know, understandable still, and trying to be good and trying to learn good, and against people who are shitters too. I think Kratos grows a fair bit throughout. God of War 2018 is overrated. I hate the term overrated. Hot take, overrated is the dumbest fucking qualifier out there. That's my hot take. Hot takes are overrated. The term overrated is overrated. Kratos' internal conflict, struggling to make his son better than himself, is made so much more interesting by the flaws of his past established in the first 3 games. His backstory, even if it's not interesting to experience by itself. Yeah, so, okay. Chat, spoilers for God of War 2018. God of War 2018 is still mid up. Yeah, that's fine. I just think the term overrated is dumb. I just think it's dumb. All right, spoilers for God of War 2018. If you don't want this part spoiled, mute, and we can tell you when to unmute it. I'm not going to assume all of you have seen my video on God of War 2018. I made a video on it a few years back. What the video focuses on largely is how Atreus, you learn at the very end of the game, was named by his mother Loki. So Atreus in the Norse pantheon is named Loki. We know Loki, maybe you just know Norse myths because you've read it, or you've watched Marvel, all those Loki iterations are different from each other and different from this game, but they all, those do have the thing in common of Loki is kind of the agent of chaos. In whatever iteration he's in, he's a bit of an agent of chaos. And what we know from Ragnarok in the Norse myth, specifically, not the Marvel show, but in the Norse myth specifically, is that the end of the world happens because Loki breaks from his chains, marches to Valhalla with giants, monsters in tow, and starts a great war that leads to all the gods dying. That is his arc. Essentially, is he leads an army of giants to kill the Norse gods. Now, if you've played God of War 1, 2, and 3, or watched my video, that sounds familiar. And also, by the way, the world ends with a great flood. That might sound familiar, because that's what happens in God of War 1, 2, and 3. That's what happens in those games, is Kratos marches to Olympus with titans and giants in tow, kills all the gods, and the world ends essentially in a great flood. So by having Atreus be named Loki, it creates this sense of, oh shit, is Atreus going to become Kratos? Loki was the perfect pick to be Kratos' son, because in the Greek, in the Norse myth, Loki is Kratos. Loki pretty much does what Kratos does. So it's a great connection. It's a great connection point. And yeah, that is one of the beauties of God of War 2018 is like this idea of nature versus nurture versus prophecy versus inevitability, and Kratos all the while doing what he can to not let cycles repeat themselves. We must be better. Do you think Loki will kill Kratos? I think that's heavily alluded to. But no, I don't think I will. I don't think it will happen. I think they want you to think it'll happen, and it'll almost happen, but I don't think it will. So yeah, I think Kratos goes through a really interesting journey. I certainly do resent when people are like Kratos was a bad character, and I probably have said this too at points, and I regret it. When people say Kratos was a bad character before 2018, because I think he was a very detailed and deep character and interesting in a lot of ways. That some people seem to ignore, and also some of the creative team and writing team on 2018 seem to forget and ignore certain parts of the Kratos canon in favor of their version of him, which might just be, some out of context interviews, but I don't know. It can be a little frustrating. But yeah, no, I think Kratos is a great character. Even without 2018, I would put him on the list. Think I saw him as too much of a power fantasy for me at first. Yeah, I think that's fair. And I think that's how a lot of people view him. And that is what I think that is part of the big value for 2018 is that it's a reminder that, okay, no, he wasn't supposed to be a power fantasy or fully. He's not supposed to be something that you ever should aspire to. Like there are huge issues with it, and even he doesn't want to be this power fantasy. Some of that shit is less to do, I think, with, it does hurt his character, but it's less about his character and more about kind of the juvenile additions that the dev team decided to add for that game. But anyway, is Kratos a contender? One for yes, two for no. Wow. Yeah, this is pretty overwhelming. Game's too long with more combat. I disagree. I think the combat's great, man. But it is too long. It is too long. I feel like people in the age of standing and killing people are focused on relating to characters so much that people will write off amazingly written characters because they aren't definitively good people. Yeah. Which maybe apply. I think that's the same with Abby from The Last of Us. I'm sure there's different reasons, but that's one of the things that I note with her is like, I think she's a good, well-written character, but like written in a way where you're probably going to hate her. And that's okay. That's not a bad character or a bad thing. But I do think sometimes people put a little too much focus on likability. All right. Kratos is an easy in. If you'd like to be entered for the next round, we are the bag. Kratos can't win. Kratos might win. I think I have a prediction of who will win, but I don't want to push it too hard. We'll see. Hey, thank you for the raid. All right. Colin, who do you got for me? Hollow Knight fans unite. I still don't know who from Hollow Knight would make it on. I really don't think any characters would. I don't think Quirrell would make it. Quirrell is good. Anyway, Colin, what do you got for me? Master Chef. It's a river from To the Moon, an intricate look at a neurodivergence through the lens of grieving. I need to replay To the Moon. What a game. Yes. Let's get some music on. What a good game. What a sad game. I'm okay. Stop. Stop fucking crying, chat. God. So yeah, To the Moon, a game about... I don't want to go too much into it because I just think you should play it if you haven't played it. Really great indie game about a character near the end of their life, and it's this company that is able to essentially go into mines to give a sort of wish fulfillment on their deathbeds. And the corporation goes into a character named Johnny's mind and sees all this stuff between Johnny and River, who is, you know, kind of the love of his life, and their relationship together, and how she struggled throughout life and changed his life. She, neurodivergent character. I can't remember. Do they ever say? I mean, yeah, I don't know if they ever say it directly, but she is an autistic character. They might say Asperger's specifically. I don't know. Okay, they don't say. But I also know that I don't think Asperger is really used anymore. I don't know. I don't think it's taught. I don't think it's used in the DSM, or what is it? The DSM 5. I don't think it's in there anymore. I think they've got it out. Anyway, it's implied that she is an autistic character, and yeah, it's an interesting look at it that isn't like, I don't know. It's certainly a group that isn't explored a ton of games. I think To the Moon does it well. It explores that relationship in an interesting and solid way. And yeah, she's a great character of it. I think the game affected me more emotionally than any other game at the time. Blindsided me after playing it back in It Meow. So the most important indie games, in my opinion. It kind of opened the door for how impactful games could be with small budgets. 100%. So yeah, I was a super interesting game within the story as well. Yeah. A game effect on the industry around it. So I don't know. I might want to make a video out of this at some point. I was having a conversation in someone's stream the other day. And I've talked about this probably on here before too. Is that indie games are kind of like the actual sequel to the classic games from our childhood. Right? You look at like what Mario is now versus what Mario was in the SNES era. And Mario has elevated usually to bigger budget 3D games. Sure, they do still actually do the 2D stuff, and it works pretty well, but the formula has shifted a fair bit in a lot of these games. And sometimes they go back to it. But indie games are kind of like, hey, we are going to take these ideas that were created in the SNES era and innovate on them so much and like get every ounce of interesting shit out of them possible. I think you saw a big push with RPG Maker. I think To the Moon changed the landscape for that. Without To the Moon, Undertale never exists. You know, like I mean, granted, also, I guess without Homestuck, Undertale doesn't exist. But definitely without To the Moon, I don't think something like Undertale exists or blows up in the way it does. Just because, you know, To the Moon pushed like, hey, RPG Maker is actually a good tool. And I think that helped teach a lot of people how to design games like that. And, you know, a lot of good games are even made in RPG Maker. Specifically, I say River more so because the game makes direct effort to make River's feelings not only understandable, but entirely empathetic to non-neurodivergent people. Yeah, I like that. Indie games are the rim worlds, which expanding the game universe. Expanding. Anyway, yeah. I think that's a great pick. I think River's a really great character from a great game. Maybe I should play that game on stream. I haven't played the sequel yet. But I want to. I think it's probably about like a 6-hour game. All right, chat. Is River a contender? 1 for yeses, 2 for nos. Sequels on par. That's a good tier. Favorite game of all time is an RPG Maker game. I think the lack of resources and the constrictions of the platform itself forces innovation and excellence when it comes to writing. Yeah, 100%. There's an interview I love with the Avatar guys where they talk about how restrictions can really push creativity. Having limitations creates a lot of room to be creative and forces you to be creative. And I think that goes for all sorts of stories in industry and pushing forward. I think games, and as we've seen indie games blow up in the way they have, imagine a video about that. Like about the Hybit era, bro. As we've seen stuff blow up in the way they have, it's good stuff. You know, like you think about something. I think about something like Celeste. Celeste is a good example of this. It like uses every ounce of its mechanics and its limited playset to like create this amazing playground platformer to move around in. One Shot? I haven't played One Shot. But yeah, indie games really push the extent of what games in those areas can do and try to do, because they need to. Because if they want to compete, they need to just be these tight gameplay experiences where everything is tied together. Doomslayer is named Doom Guy, I believe. So it's not him. We are the bag if you'd like to enter. All right, Guy Brush Threepwood. Let me take one guess. Let me take one guess as to who you're picking. Or prove me wrong, I guess. Actually, no. Let's go. What do you got? I was thinking Voss. Voss, definitely a classic villain. Can I tell you the definition of insanity? You know, the kind of likable villain who a lot of people I think connected to, partly based on just an incredible performance. What's his fucking name? Is it Michael Maldonado? Michael Maldonado, I think. Is that right? Nope. 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 Wrong person. Michael Mando. Do. Michael Mando. I'm pretty sure that his portrayal as Voss is what got him a pretty prominent role in Better Call Saul. But yeah, he's fantastic as Voss. He gives a really good performance. You know, certainly I think there's probably arguments that it doesn't do a good job with portrayals of mental health. But yeah, I think a fascinating performance that makes like a charismatic performance of someone whose levels of horrificness and depravity goes beyond anything you could ever expect. And I think a lot of the pre-stuff that they did to promote the game with him and McLovin was really interesting and well performed by him. He's too good for Far Cry 3. Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, they definitely do the interesting thing of like, hey, actually, here's our new main villain who is far less interesting than Voss. But yeah, Voss is an interesting pick. He definitely elevates the game, right? Definitely elevates the game a fair bit to make it more interesting than it is. I think some people were theorizing that it's a prequel because they show the Breaking Bad villain who's like always the villain, who always plays the same character, and a kid who had the same like eye thing as Voss. So I think a lot of people were saying it might be a prequel where you have Kid Voss. I think that was a theory. Whoop. But I think it's been pretty disproven. And it also doesn't really make sense at all in the lore of Far Cry. But yeah, chat, is Voss a contender? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Yeah, I want to see that Breaking Bad guy play like a good guy in something. That's what I want. Just see him be a nice grandpa. How cool would that be? Peg Min for your favorite Far Cry? I find Voss more interesting than Peg Min, but I think Peg Min is solid. I think Peg Min is solid for sure. I even like the seeds. I actually like the seeds. I think they're good too. A little less focused than the others, but all right, 10 seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Voss just ekes in there with 60% of the vote. It's basically every Far Cry game in recent memory has been about doing a revolution. I was more excited about Far Cry 6. I thought it was about the Spanish Civil War. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know much about it. All right, chat. We've been going for a while. We got a nice list of contenders and losers. We'll probably do one more stream of this, but how about we do 3 more people? We'll do 3 more selections. So We Are the Bag, hit it up. We'll do 3 more. And then we can call it a stream. All right, let's roll it. 2 tracks, what do you got for me? Knack. Two tracks, just so you know, if in fact Knack ends with above 80% no's, you will be banned. You have 20 seconds. Ten seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your lucky chat has some mercy for you. Your lucky chat had mercy. I'm almost positive if I hadn't said that, you would have been fucking banned. Knack does not make it on. Is Knack even the name of the character? I don't know. I don't even know, and I don't even care enough to look it up, but I will. Knack can't be the name of the character. Plot. Hey, it's me. I'm Knack from Knack. Okay, Knack. Yeah, I guess you do play as Knack. Cool. All right. Viewer poem. What do you got for me? Hope Sony makes a Knack 3. Do you, though? Do you actually, though? All right, viewer poem. Sorry. If you're mobile, I apologize, but I'm done. Lumioli. What do you got for me? Bum, bum, bum. How many sales Donkey's responsible for? Probably a significant margin, if I'm being honest. Madeline's already made it though. Rip mobile. I mean, mobile should be done, but mobile should be good by this point. It's pretty long for mobile. All right, Arthur, what do you got? James Sunderland. Oh, of course. Yeah, sorry. James, everyone's favorite protagonist from Silent Hill. You know, he was originally envisioned of having two different sides of his personality. And, you know, as throughout, we get kind of Maria describing James as kind, and Mary, in her letters to Laurel, describe him as a little surly. It says he does not talk much, but he's sweet underneath his enigmatic exterior, which we love. We love kind of those, you know, sweethearts who are a little mysterious. All right, Chad, I haven't played Silent Hill, but I know that a lot of people love James. I know a lot of people have played Silent Hill and love Silent Hill. I wish I had nice things to say about it to pitch it. But I haven't played it. So I you know, I don't have much to say. But maybe you do, chat. Is James Sunderland a contender? Yes. No. James is like an onion. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Make your voices heard. 15 seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, chat. James can move forward. We have one more person in. This time, I want you to just type in, I like bags. I like bags. I like bags. That is the new code. That is the new code. I like bags. And this is our last one. Winner gets, pizza. All right. Wolf Pop 88. What do you got for me? What do you have for our last choice, our last character of the day? Skull Kid from Majora's Mask. Yeah, Skull Kid's an interesting little villain. Like a cool aesthetic, first off. But right, someone who is just a kid, a little mean, right? A little mean, does rob you. Well, no, actually has the mask when he robs you. All those, those little forest kids are a little devious in their own way, but not evil. Not evil for certain, Chad. Not evil. But yeah, a kid corrupted by power, and you play as Link partnered with Tattle, Skull Kid's old friend, to try to help him. Robs the mask salesman. True, but the mask salesman maybe deserves to be robbed. But yeah, cool design. Sad character. You kind of get into his psyche near the end when you're on the moon and you realize he was kind of picked on, bullied, felt lonely, felt alone, and just wants a friend, right? We can respect just wanting friends. Yeah, some touching moments. Is Skull Kid a contender? That is the question, though. 1 for yes, 2 for no. You have 1 minute. Crying alone in the rain, sad stuff. Sad stuff. All right, 30 seconds remaining. Can Skull Kid hold on? The only reason Nat got more than 1 vote was because I threatened to ban the person who posted it. My chat's too nice. My chat's too nice. 15 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sorry, Skull Kid. More interesting Zelda characters than Skull Kid. Impa. Impa's more interesting. Urbos is more interesting. I think Zelda in certain games is more interesting. I think OOT. I think Sheik. OOT Zelda / Sheik is pretty dang interesting. Midna, I definitely say is more interesting. But I think you're right in that Skull Kid is probably in the top 10 most interesting Zelda characters. I'd agree with that. I think Hilda's more interesting. Hooded Man? I don't know about Old Man. Cass is good, but I don't know if Cass is super interesting. Like, he just kind of plays accordion and tells stories. Tingle. True. Well, we'll do another one of these. We'll do another one of these in the future. But that is going to be all the ones we do for today. We got a nice little pool to choose from. I can tell you characters that I am positive on putting on. These two for sure. I'm pretty sure on probably also Gladys and Madeline. I think those are really good. Got to think about some of these other ones. I think Lee will probably be on there for me. Ellie will probably be on there. Kratos would be a good one. I like River, but I do just worry about the popularity of To the Moon versus other stuff. That's always the hard part of it, is like weighing what has enough cult fandom to do well versus what is just good. Senua, yeah, someone should maybe send in Senua, huh? Maybe that'd be a good one for this next one. Yeah, River won't win. Like, here's the, I mean, it's all about weighing, like, what will do well. Like, Madeline, I mean, To the Moon and Celeste are probably not super far apart popularity-wise, but it's just like, yeah, Madeline is a little more iconic of a character than River. So we'll see. You know, if it was just a list of, you know, favorites, I don't know. Yeah, it's probably been too long for me to personally put River on there. But yeah, I want everyone to be competitive, so I'll have to weigh out the people in this pool who can be competitive. But yeah, that was fun. This was fun. We'll do this one again. I think I'll do one more day of this, maybe on Thursday, maybe next week, probably Thursday. And then yeah, we'll do one more round of this on Thursday. I haven't played Nier Automata, so I'm not going to put in any characters. If people vote and one gets in and it does really, really well, then I'll consider including it. But I'm not going to just put in characters from a game I haven't played. To me, Celeste is significantly more popular. Maybe. Celeste is also more recent. So it's just a little different. I'm trying to see sales for To the Moon. Steam Spy says that 1 million to 2 million people own To the Moon. Play Tracker estimates that 4.1 to 4.2 million own To the Moon. From the same website, Play Tracker estimates that 1.1 million to 1.2 million have played or owned Celeste, and 500,000 to 100,000. What I will say Celeste has over To the Moon is I think Celeste is on more consoles. So that number could be higher because of it. But I think To the Moon is pretty popular. I think a lot of people own it. Yeah, it says based on... Okay, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's hard. I think, though, I don't think Celeste is, like, all that much more famous or popular than To the Moon. It's just more recent. I don't know how many people who've played it, honestly. I mean, it's To the Moon? I don't know. It's a game from 10 years ago. It's an indie game from 10 years ago. I think a lot of people played it, but I don't know. I think, but it's just like Celeste is still in its window. Celeste is still in its popularity window. Where I remember I played To the Moon like 2 years after it came out, and it was like huge. And like people always talked about how it was one of the best games ever. But if you think about indie games that have come out since To the Moon that are iconic, like a bunch have come out and some have kind of eclipsed what it does and not done what it does better. But yeah. Celeste won Game of the Year. That makes it more popular. Where did it win Game of the Year? What Game of the Year? The Game Awards? Celeste won Game of the Year at Game Awards? I don't know. I'm asking. That seems wrong. Celeste Awards. I don't yeah. Best Independent Games. Games for Impact Awards. So it won awards, but yeah, I mean the Game Awards didn't exist then. Game for Impact. Yeah, but you know, To the Moon won awards too. GameSpot's Game of the Year awards, To the Moon was given Best Story, which it won. Wow. Be Catherine, Ghost Trick, Portal 2. Well, that's surprising. Wish we were in the same category. It's also nominated for Best Music, Most Memorable Moment, but didn't win those. Best Ending Song of the Year, didn't win those. I don't know. It won awards too. I don't think that's a good... I mean, Celeste didn't win Game of the Year. So that's that too. I bet you To the Moon would have won Best... If the Game Awards were around then, I bet you To the Moon probably would have been nominated for Best Independent Game. But indie games were different in 2011 than they were in 2015. Or 2018 or whatever the fuck. Hot take, calling things overrated, stupid. I don't think Selma's overrated. I think it's an interesting story. Ludwig out here playing Jump King? Yikes. You know a guy's down. All right. Chat. We're going to toss a raid over to Mindari. Doing some D&D stuff over on her channel. I will be back on Thursday. Ouch. I mean, I think you have a bad take. You don't need to see yourself out. You can just deal with having a bad take. It's okay.